Until those stories started to hit the newspaper and the airwaves, and then I saw the numbers start sliding.
But didn't those headlines just reinforce your negatives?
Exactly what they did. They said, well, wait a minute, and didn't
But they were still your negatives, though. They weren't Sam's negatives, they were
What
yours.
I'm saying is if it hadn't been for that and the headlines, I probably would have survived.
Okay, so then 4 years later, you decide you deserve another kick at the can.
I didn't decide I deserved it. I wanted another kick.
You didn't feel in any way that you had been cheated out of a term?
No, absolutely not. I was at peace with the fact that I lost.
Really?
Yeah.
But you ran again, so at peace?
Because I didn't ever feel like you were at peace with not being mayor. You accepted the right of the voters and the will of the voters, and you've said that. But that's not the same as being personally at peace.
Well, you're being very existential.
Am I?
Yeah, okay.
That's what happens in the Lair.
I should stop drinking.
I wasn't happy with the result, but I accepted it.
But you weren't at peace. I always got the sense from you that you had more to do for the city. You had more fire in the belly. That it was promoting you to run for mayor.
Yeah, but even at that, I wasn't. I had determined not to run until very late. And the only reason that I ran, in fact, I was trying to talk other people into running.
I know you were. I recall we had lunch once.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, and the present company included.
Yeah.
Because I thought that...
The deucer?
Yeah, no, it wasn't the deucer you wanted to run. It was me. The deucer could have done well. Who knows? There's something appealing to a douchebag. Yeah, exactly. So how about now? Are you at peace with the fact that you came in second?
No, I wanted to win. But
are you going to run again for mayor?
No.
Well, what if Bertina doesn't have an illustrious...
Well, then who knows? And Bertina, you know...
So it's open. It's there.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, you know, I'm older, and I mean, at some point you have to let younger people... Although I'm 5 or so years older than Bertina, but...
Yeah, yeah, that's right, Hazel, Hurricane Hazel.
Hazel is Hazel.
But
she
really,
should not have run.
But you really, I hear the line, somebody younger deserves a chance, blah, 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 blah.
No.
But if you think you have more to do for the city, and you're still vibrant, I mean, you're in the Lair, you look healthy, you could make it up the stairs to the Lair. Anyone who can make the stairs to the Lair.
Didn't you go all the way up to the top the first time you came here? See?
Yeah, see, if you can handle the stairs to the Lair, then you can handle running again.
Anything. But, you know, there's a family. Listen, running for me cost me a pile of personal dough.
It did cost you a pile of personal dough.
Not just this election, every election.
And one could ask how the money was spent so poorly, given the results.
Well...
Did it get out of control? Was it just, let's try one more thing, one more thing, one more thing?
Well, there's a whole psychology to elections, and I warn people about it, and then you fall into it, which... You know, the last 2 or 3 weeks become the dangerous.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's always something else to do.
Yeah.
And, well, you know, we're out of signs. People want signs. Okay, let's get,
so
you know, that's...
I got to end on this question, Larry. Was your team responsible for that attack ad against Bertina?
No.
You weren't responsible for it?
No,
You had no knowledge of that ad?
Absolutely.
Because when I saw that ad, I thought that Bertina had the race, because it looked like a desperate move by whoever did it.
Well, think about this. Think about this. There was a poll that the Spectator did, right? Mm-hmm. And it showed that Bob and Fred's supporters were the first choice. The second choice of people who wanted to vote for Bob was Fred, and people who wanted to vote for Fred was Bob. So knocking Bob off would send people scurrying to Fred's side. I had nothing to... I'm not saying it was Fred.
So you're saying that the theory, let me just check Twitter, because I asked people if they had a question they wanted to ask, and I've had a couple of good ones come in. Let me just check my feed here and see. I've got some questions for you, Larry, and you're gonna like this one.
Okay.
Let me just pull it up here. I asked if they could ask Larry DiIanni anything, what would it be? And I've had a couple of responses to it, so let me just track down here. This is from Moses Times. That's his Twitter name, and I think he's out of Hamilton. Larry, what happened? How could you let Bertina win? What's wrong with Hamiltonians?
I don't think there's anything wrong with Hamiltonians, although I've stated this before, and you know this, Laura, that Hamiltonians are not strategic. They vote by instinct and by gut and by feel rather than strategic. And I'm talking about...
Is that saying they're not smart?
No, I don't think so. No, Hamiltonians are very smart, but it is saying that they don't necessarily And I would relate this more to federal and provincial politics than mayoralty, although somebody else can make the case as well, and maybe that's what he's getting at, that questioner. But we tend to elect people because they either yell the loudest or protest the loudest or fight, and rather than
based on
people who
emotion,
get accomplished.
you say?
Yeah. And I think that there was a huge component. I mean, Bob Bertina ran a non-campaign. I called it the Seinfeld campaign. I was there.
He didn't have a policy platform a day like you and a slick machine.
He didn't have any.
Oh, he
policy
said
platform.
de-amalgamation would be on the table, and that was enough.
Well,
so he had a campaign.
And his name and popularity.
Sure, he was trusted.
Right? Yeah.
He's invested in Hamilton for decades, and he said, I will open up de-amalgamation. That was a pretty significant campaign. Rob Ford won in Toronto by saying, stop the gravy train. You don't need to have 65 platform messages.
Yeah. I said, even before Bob, which now that amalgamation needs to be on the table seems to have morphed into a service analysis.
Sure, and we can get into that, but there's nothing more boring
which is
than
what I said.
There's nothing more boring than area rating. I can't handle area rating in the Lair.
Where do you live? You live on the mountain?
I'm not going to give that. No, yes, I do. I live on the mountain.
So you may escape. I mean, tell people in Lambert that area rating is boring. They're facing a 16%.
I understand. But you know what? It's the Lair. There are no rules in the Lair except my rules,
and you're saying,
and I'm saying,
it's boring.
I can't talk area rating.
It is difficult to talk about because people's eyes glaze over.
Yeah, no, my ears are glazing over right now. Larry DiIanni, thank you so much for being in the Lair.
My pleasure. That was it.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, that was great. I love talking about me.
Yeah, I thought you would. Well, as I told our douche producer, how are you going to get guests to the Lair? I said, all I'm going to say to them is it's about you, and they will line up at the door.
No. The clincher is, I'm just interviewing interesting people.
That's right. If you're not interesting to Gabby and I and our doucer, then you're not here in the Lair, and you are an interesting guy.
Well,
thanks so much, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Gabby,
and now he can find out whether or not you are available for his Sunday married Gabby.
I'm not married, FYI.
I should stop saying that. Saying I've got a son because his girlfriend gets very pissed off whenever I do that.
Oh, you think?
No, she's Croatian.
Oh, boom. Thanks, Larry.
A beautiful Croatian girl.
Ah, there you go. Thanks a lot, Larry. Appreciate it.
This session of the Laircast was brought to you by people who are still afraid of Dick Cheney. Chats in the Lair is a Power Group production. Visit us at powergroup.ca or laircast.com, or check us out on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.